claimed achieving the stability of macroeconomic framework, and perhaps rightly began with claiming that the economy is on a track. The reference to setting up of macroeconomic targets in the manifesto and achieving these year may be a justifiable claim. That is demonstrated by GDP growth of 4.7%, in highest in 8 years, increase in per capita income, and 60% increase in tax collection in last 3 years. This is what the finance minister has claimed. And then exchange rate held stable for 3 years, and so on and so forth. But when we see from the direct taxes perspective, income tax, although there has been a growth in collection, but unfortunately we don't see any major policy change as far as the income tax amendments are proposed. In fact, what was expected was a strategy for basically growing the number of taxpayers and the basis of the tax collection. But unfortunately, except very few, we do not see any strategical proposals made in the income tax ordinance. Most of the amendments leads towards ad hoc tax collection measures instead of focusing to develop and improve documentation and broadening the tax base. Need for structural reforms in taxation remains to be a dire need, not only to shift the concentration of a BR's tax revenue mix from indirect taxation to direct, but also to enhance the tax base. Promotion of corporatization of businesses by rationalization of gross incision of tax on company and compliance burden, dedicated policy measures to tap the source of income and identifying the non-filers, etc., is grossly lacked in this budget, in this finance bill. So with these opening remarks, now I move to basically the specific amendments proposed in the income tax ordinance. The first one is super tax that was imposed last year for 1 year has been extended to another year. This means that is going to be a year-by-year exercise that every year we can expect extensions, unless and until a policy is decided that it was only one time or maybe for a specific period amendment. Another amendment proposed is that income to be considered without adjustment of depreciation and business losses. So there are two major amendments. One is the extension, and other is that depreciation and business losses will not be adjusted in order to compute the super tax. Tax on builders, minimum tax se isko nikal ke, then they have now at the falling rates leke aaye hain isko tax karne ke liye, and area wise and category wise the rates have been specified. And similar is for the tax on land developers. Minimum tax on income from the business of developers and sale of residential and commercial or other plots have been replaced again with the final tax regime with effect from the tax year 2017. Another major amendment tax on income from property. Income from property ko now it is provided that should be taxed as a separate block of income. और उसके लिए जो rate specify किए गए अगली slide पे मैंने उसको summarize किया है. Now the impact is that if an individual has only salary income, तो उसको जो basic threshold of exemption है वो 2 लाख का मिलेगा instead of 4 लाख जो कि available है बाकी taxpayers को. Another question arises if there is a mix of income. For example, 2 लाख रुपए property income है, 1,75,000 रुपए दूसरी income है, तो 2 लाख की exemption property income की उसको exemption मिल जाएगी property के ऊपर because it's a separate income, and the remaining remains below the threshold of 475,000. तो क्या उसके ऊपर tax, sorry, I mean दूसरी है 275, तो जो 275 है दैट रिमेन्स बिलो 400,000 रुपीज़, क्या उसकी चार्जेबिलिटी अराइज होगी या नहीं होगी। ये रेट्स हैं और इसका इम्पैक्ट डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट किया गया है कि एग्जिस्टिंग और प्रपोज सिनेरियो में क्या इसका इम्पैक्ट आएगा। गेन ऑन इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी, एग्जेम्पशन के लिए क्वालिफाइंग पीरियड हैज बीन इंक्रीज्ड फ्रॉम 2 years to 5 years, और जो 0 to 5 years में जो 10 नीचे रेट दिए थे, पहले इन रेट्स के ऊपर कैपिटल गेन टैक्स होता था, नाउ इट विल बी टैक्स्ड एट अ फ्लैट रेट ऑफ 10%। Rates have been also revised for capital gain on listed securities, जो current rates और tax year 2016 के rates हैं and the proposed rates that have been tabulated here, and you can see a difference in 2017. The distinction has been created for filers and non-filers also. So 15% for example, where the holding period is less than 12 months, 15 and 18%, where the holding period is between 12 months or more than and 24 months, 12.5 से 16 हो जाएगा उसमें, and so on. जो exemption होगी that will be, but where the security was acquired before 1 July 2012, उस केस में the tax rate will be 0. Future derivative product proposed to include future commodity product contracts entered into by the members of Pakistan Mercantile Exchange, whether or not, or tax at the rate of 5% to be collected by NCCPL. Reduced rate of minimum tax on services. Finance Act 2015 ने clause 94 was inserted in part 4 of the second schedule to reduce the rate of tax to 2% on specified services sectors, subject to the conditions specified for the period from July 2015 से 2016, meaning by the tax year 2016. It is now proposed to extend this period up to 2017, and in order to extend the benefit, the reduced rate benefit, to the IT services and IT-enabled services. Sorry, थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो गई है. Reduced rate on capital gain of dividends withdrawn from insurance companies. पहले insurance companies का dividend जो है वो dividend के rate के ऊपर tax होता था, but now it is proposed the entire income of the insurance company will be taxed as one basket income, और उसमें जो company rate है that will apply on the dividend also. Contribution made by the employer 1 lakh से ज़्यादा जो था that was treated to be taxed treated as an income of the employee. 2 threshold बढ़ा दिया है, अब now it is 150,000. Inadmissible deduction, again a very far-reaching implication amendment proposed. पहले ये था कि जो नीचे 6 कैटेगरी दी गई हैं, अगर सिर्फ वो पेमेंट without deduction or collection of tax थी, that was to be disallowed. Ab now it is proposed that inadmissibility will apply to all payments of any expenditure made without deduction of collection of tax. And it is further proposed that the disallowance shall not exceed 20% of purchase of raw material and finished goods. मुझे ये लगता है कि दोनों amendments जो हैं आपस में sync नहीं हो रही हैं. ये inadmissibility तमाम expenses के ऊपर हो जाएगी, लेकिन एक interpretation इसकी ये हो सकता है कि शब्बर साहब, मैं like to argue अगर कोई situation arise होती है कि जहाँ पे purchase of goods नहीं है, वहाँ पे inadmissibility नहीं होगी. क्योंकि लॉ ये कहता है कि इनएडमिसिबिलिटी विल बी रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू 20% ऑफ परचेज ऑफ गुड्स, और जहां पे परचेज ऑफ गुड्स नहीं है, ट्रेडिंग कंपनी फॉर एग्जांपल सर्विस सेक्टर है, अगर वो नेट इनकम बेसिस के ऊपर उसकी इनकम टैक्स हो रही है, तो वहां पे एडमिसिबिलिटी की कैप नहीं होगा अवेलेबल। बट इन माय ओपिनियन दिस नीड अ रिवीजन, इसको मेरे ख्याल में रिकंसिडर करने की ज़रूरत है, और ये जो लैकुना है इसको भी रिमूव करने की ज़रूरत है। Pharmaceutical manufacturers have been, hit by this amendment. It is proposed that the advertisement, sales promotion, and publicity expenses to be curtailed to 5% of turnover. ये ड्रग एक्ट में एक रिस्ट्रिक्शन है फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनीज के लिए कि वो 5% से ज़्यादा एडवर्टीजमेंट एंड सेल्स प्रमोशन एक्सपेंसेस इनकर नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन उसका रैशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव पीनलाइज करने की बजाय शायद ये है कि भाई कंपनीज को ये कोई इल प्रैक्टिसेस में फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनीज इन्वॉल्व ना हो, दैट्स वाई एक थ्रेशोल्ड उसके लिए प्रोवाइड कर दिया गया है। अच्छा, उस प्रोविजन की बेस के ऊपर माजी में द टैक्स ऑफिसर्स ट्राई टू डिसअलाउ द क्लेम ऑफ ASP in excess of 5%, but the tribunal did not approve that interpretation, and accordingly all bona fide expenses paid on account of advertisement and sales promotion were allowed as a deductible expense. अब ये amendment income tax ordinance में लेके आए हैं। In my humble view, income tax law is not the law to tell how to do the business, how much expenses to be incurred. I mean, this applies to other amendments also and other claims also. I think that need to be reconsidered. Depreciation related to exempt period. 1979 का जो ऑर्डिनेंस था, थर्ड शेड्यूल, उसमें ये क्लॉज थी कि एग्जम्प्ट पीरियड में अगर जो डेप्रिसिएशन है दैट विल बी कंप्यूटेड, एंड ऑन एक्सपायरी ऑफ द एग्जम्पशन पीरियड और टैक्स हॉलीडे पीरियड जो टैक्स WDV ऑफ एन एसेट ली जाएगी दैट विल बी कॉस्ट माइनस डीम्ड डेप्रिसिएशन अलाउड इनिशियल एंड नॉर्मल। बट 2001 के ऑर्डिनेंस में ऐसी कोई क्लॉज नहीं थी, तो उस बेसिस के ऊपर एक इंटरप्रिटेशन और व्यू ये बनता था कि भाई टैक्स हॉलीडे पीरियड या टैक्स एब्सेंट पीरियड में नाउ इट्स नॉट मैंडेटरी फॉर द टैक्स पेयर टू कंप्यूट टैक्स डेप्रिसिएशन और उसको डीम करके टैक्स WDV को एडजस्ट करें। नाउ दैट एन एक्सप्लेनेशन हैज बीन इंसर्टेड that this will be deemed to has always been there. I think again this will raise the lot of litigation, क्योंकि in my opinion अगर एक specific provision 1979 के ordinance में था and that was not carried in 2001 ordinance, then that was intentional or that created the vested right of the taxpayer to take the beneficial interpretation. But now they have tried to undo this benefit through by inserting an explanation rather than amending the law. Losses surrendered by group company, restriction on benefits. Currently, a group company being a subsidiary or a holding company may surrender its assessed tax losses, excluding capital gains, capital and brought forward losses in favor of another company. The proposal is to limit the benefit of losses to the extent of the percentage of shares held by holding company in its subsidiary. The bill also seeks to withdraw the exemption available to intercorporate dividend and profit on dividend on such group companies, including withholding tax exemptions. I think ये जो provision था, ये काफ़ी struggle के बाद, corporatization की जब हम बात कर रहे हैं, groups की बात कर रहे हैं, ये लाया गया था, but that has been tried to undo that. Maybe panel discussion में Shabir may like to make, throw some more light on this, कि भी इसकी far reaching implications हैं in my opinion, and they should be revisited. Profit on debt deductible. Threshold जो है वो इसकी deduction की वो 1 million से it is proposed to increase it to 2 million. but the allowance shall be subject to limit of 50% of taxable income or rupees 2 million, whichever is lower. Education expenses. Tuition fee paid by individuals, taxable income up to 1 million can be claimed as a deductible allowance. And deductible allowance proposed to be allowed to either of the parents on furnishing of national tax number and name of the educational institution. मगर इसके ऊपर लिमिट है. ट्रस्ट नहीं, वो स्लाइड आ गया ट्रस्ट की बात. नहीं, ट्रस्ट इज वेरी डियर to most of the hearts. I will discuss it. Sorry. Okay. नहीं, मैं थोड़ा सा. Now losses I spoke, profit and debt I spoke. Okay, I'll speak about the trust first. I'm sorry, probably there is ये कि slides में कुछ गड़बड़ हो गई है. Explanation has been inserted, amendment has been made that trust की जो definition है, that will include a foreign trust. And by virtue of this inclusion, tax purposes के लिए it will be a company. Now, the implications are कि अगर foreign trust है, तो it means वो foreign company है. तो उसकी फॉरेन कंपनी अगर है तो उसकी सिर्फ पाकिस्तान सोर्स इनकम टैक्स हो सकती है पाकिस्तान में. ये अमेंडमेंट क्यों जरूरी थी, क्यों की गई? एक डिफरेंट इंटरप्रिटेशन शायद ये हो सकती है कि भाई दे वांटेड टू गो बियॉन्ड ट्रस्ट टू द बेनिफिशियल ओनर्स, बट कैन दे डू? इन माय ओपिनियन नॉट. आई मीन ट्रस्ट अगर वो फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ द टैक्सेशन कंपनी हो भी जाए तो उसकी सिर्फ पाकिस्तान